Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news in Africa and the world. We open in Togo, where re-elected President Faure Gnassingbe is said to be installed as the country's leader in a restrained ceremony this Sunday due to fears over the coronavirus, official reports said. In conformity with Article 64 of the October 14, 1992 Constitution, the President of the Constitutional Court informed the Togolese people that the President-elect will be sworn in on May 3, 2020 at 4 p.m. in the Hall of the Presidency of the Republic. Abudu Asuma, the head of the institution, said in a statement, the ceremony will not be open to the public over fears of COVID-19 pandemic. Faure Gnassingbe, who has been in power since 2005, was re-elected in 2010, 2015 and 2020. He was declared winner of the February 22 presidential election with a 70.78% of the vote. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the accusations against Vital Kamerhe are clarifying. Since April 9, President Felix Tshisekedi's chief of staff has been detained in Makala prison. His trial is scheduled to start on May 11 on the prefabricated house affair as his lawyers receive a subpoena. According to reports, there will be 3 co-defendants in the trial. They are accused of having embezzled more than $50 million out of $60 million disbursed in 2019 to be used on 2 projects dubbed the 100 Days Program. In addition to swindling $50 million, the justice system accuses Vital Kamerhe of having indirectly benefited from an important concession in a plot belonging to one of his co-accused, Sami Jamal. Story to be continued. Ivory Coast has distanced or separated itself from the African Court on Human and People's Rights by no longer recognizing its competence. The decision comes as a direct consequence of the judgment of the African Court rendered on April 22, which ordered the suspension of the arrest warrant of Guillaume Soro and the provisional release of his 19 supporters. The withdrawal of Ivory Coast will be effective in a year. It becomes the 4th country to withdraw its declaration of jurisdiction after Benin, Rwanda and Tanzania. The reaction of the Ivorian government is a question of sovereignty, Amadou Gon Coulibaly, acting Minister of Foreign Affairs and Alassane Ouattara's preferred successor, said. Over to Europe, while there are no medications currently approved to treat people with the coronavirus disease, there are several therapies being investigated as potential life-saving options. Of the antiviral, antibiotic, antiretroviral and anti-malarial medicines being studied in trials to treat and prevent COVID-19, a drug called Remdesivir is among a handful which scientists and the World Health Organization consider most promising. Hope in the drug, which is still subject to ongoing clinical research, showed promising early results in a government-sponsored trial of more than 1,000 seriously ill and hospitalized patients. Although the results are preliminary, the nation's top infectious disease doctor Antonio Fauci, a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, said he left an ethical imperative to share the promising data publicly before the traditional peer-reviewed process. The United Kingdom now has the 2nd highest official COVID-19 death toll according to new figures published on Wednesday that cover fatalities in all settings, including nursing homes. Some 26,000 people died after testing positive as of April 28. That means the United Kingdom has suffered more coronavirus deaths than France or Spain have reported, though less than Italy, which has Europe's highest death toll and the 2nd worst in the world after the United States. Such a high death toll is set to increase the pressure on Boris Johnson, just as opposition parties accuse his government of being too slow to impose a lockdown to limit contagion from the new coronavirus, equally too slow to introduce mass testing and too slow to get enough protective equipment to hospitals. Brussels has launched legal action against Poland for allegedly undermining judicial independence and has warned of the danger of autocratic governments using the coronavirus crisis to tighten their grip. The European Commission said it was giving Poland 2 months to address its concerns about a law introduced earlier this year that would allow to punish judges who criticize the government reforms of the judicial system. Should Warsaw, the capital of Poland, refuse to move, the Commission will sue it in the European Court of Justice, which could eventually lead to heavy fines, as well as a court telling the Polish government to change track. The case is one of multiple battles being waged between the EU and Poland over upholding the rule of law. The Polish government has 2 months to respond, failure to which European Court of Justice takes over the procedure. We end in the U.S., where Vice President Mike Pence has been criticized for not wearing a face mask during a visit to a medical center. He visited a Mayo Clinic in Minnesota on Tuesday. The research center later said on Twitter that he had been informed of a mandatory mask policy. In response to widespread online condemnation of Pence's decision not to wear a mask, the Mayo Clinic said the tweet has since been deleted. During the tour, the rest of the entourage wore masks except him. Democratic Senator Brian Skach criticized Pence, saying he was setting a dangerous example by ignoring experts. Vice President Mike Pence leads the U.S. government coronavirus force task, though he is typically overshadowed by President Donald Trump at the group's regular press briefings. That was it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your kind and keen attention. Don't go away. Keep watching TBS television as programs continue. Until we meet, do take care and stay safe.